Welcome back to NBA Cinema. So we have to talk about Dame Lillard, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and some of the things they've been saying over the last few weeks. Now, the team has lost yet another game. I think Doc Rivers is like 18 and 23, 18 and 24, something like that, since taking over the Bucks, and it was all Adrian Griffin, all Adrian Griffin. And one of the things I heard is Adrian Griffin was telling Giannis to play with the ball or without the ball in his hands as much at times. A lot of times where Giannis has great stat lines and great nights, he has like 7 turnovers from over euroing, charging people, live ball turnovers, and all that. But Giannis is the one that allowed Jrue Holiday to be traded. If he wanted Jrue there, Jrue wouldn't be gone. Not only did you trade Jrue, but you made the Celtics an even more formidable opponent in the process. And you brought in Dame Lillard. This is what I say a lot of times. Just because a guy scores the most points, gets the most volume shots like he was doing in Portland, don't make him the better fit for the team. In the midst of that, Brook Lopez, those guys are getting older. You look at players they've parted ways with over the last few years, Dante DiVincenzo. They had Grayson Allen at one point, and you saw what those guys was able to go ahead and do. You start to realize that they've made some roster mistakes. Middleton has been hurt ever since they won the title. He hasn't been the same. And, Marjan Beauchamp, some of those guys haven't developed enough to take that place, of guys getting older, guys getting traded or whatever you may say. So we're going to listen to some of the things they said over the last few weeks.
What is something you and Giannis have to do to get that ultimate goal of a championship?
Me and him got to be able to hold each other accountable. And that don't mean yelling at each other all the time. It just mean like, I got to be able to say something to you.
Yeah.
And you got to be able to say something to me at all times. He's always had to put his foot down in Milwaukee and kind of lead the charge and be kind of like the man to push it forward. And I've always been that way in Portland. And I think now that we together, we both got to look over and say, like, this is a top 75 player too.
Yeah.
And I gotta trust him to carry this with me. I think we both gotta do that. After that, we got a shot. We got a shot.
Like what you're seeing.
Gotta find ways how to win the game. Right now we don't have an identity. You know what I'm saying? Like, how are we going to win the game? Are we going to defend 48 minutes? Are we going to move the ball for 48 minutes? Are we going to attack one play fast for 48 minutes? Or 36 minutes slow down in the last 12? Gotta find an identity. We don't have that right now. And you go in Philly game, we're good. But these last two games, as you said, we have to find that. We have to find ourselves.
And the Milwaukee Bucks, on the other hand, they have a problem. They got real issues. When you have both of your guys, your two franchise guys, superstar caliber players, all-time greats, going off, they've been playing well, exceptional this season, and you're still losing games, and especially the game in Brooklyn that you're supposed to win. Again, it comes down to who's going to be that third option? I know Chris Middleton is out due because of injury, but how is he going to look? Right? It just seems like in the words of Shanae, the synergy is not there, okay? The chemistry is not there. I would think I would see more from the bench, meaning like more chest bumping, more high-fiving. Is something going on in that locker room I can't put my hand on, but I will say this. They took a guy like Patrick Beverley for granted. Imagine what he was doing in that locker room to bring in togetherness.
So when you hear Dame saying him and Giannis have to be able to hold each other accountable, that speaks to a larger problem. With you think about this whole thing, the way it came together. Giannis getting on, phone calls, group chats, trying to bring Dame, knowing that would likely move Jrue Holiday, especially with Chris Middleton being banged up. Knowing that'll move Jrue Holiday, brought him in. They didn't do too well last year, but and they were doing a little better with Adrian Griffin. But ever since Doc came, it's been a total disaster. Giannis didn't play in the postseason last year. They lost to Indiana, I believe, in the first round. This year, guys are getting their stats. Now, Dame was 1 for 12 or something like that tonight, but even the games they play well, they don't have an identity. It's just two players individually having good nights, but it doesn't impact team winning. And I think the type of shots Dame takes and the way his offense goes, his team has to be built a lot different than it's built right now. Giannis needs to play from the block more. It's nice that you can get it, go coast to coast and Euro on people, but you get a lot of turnovers like that. You make the game harder than it has to be, and you're more injury prone. As you age, I would like to see your game be more in the post, more 15 footers, not so much dribbling up the court and starting out top. You need to be sliding behind the defense. And if you're doing that, you're taking yourself out of plays, where you could be a good offensive rebounder. You're taking some of your workman abilities away just by having the ball in your hand so much. So I think that the way that they play the game, the roster, Doc Rivers being the coach, I think all are factors of them coming up short time and time again. And so, yeah, man, they have a real problem. And I don't know if it's correctable. It's definitely not correctable with Doc Rivers over there. But this is one time I'm going to say it's bigger than Doc Rivers. Giannis talks about if they don't win this year, they can trade him. People feel like that's him saying, I want to be traded if we lose this year. So, yeah, man, I don't know what to say about this roster. I don't think it's going to get better. I don't think Dame ever wanted to come here. He wanted to be in Miami with Jimmy Butler, so he gets traded to, a choice that he wasn't even fond of. And so now he's here. All in all, he probably thinking, I should have stayed in Portland for this. That's why, you don't beg to get traded unless the organization is going to do right by you, send you where you want to go. Because for all this, you could have stayed in Portland. But that's just me, man. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time.